there's actually an entire forum of people online, actually on Reddit, called like Lefty Guitar or something like that, for left-handed guitar players.
Right.
It's an entire community because there aren't any. So when you find one, it's like, oh my God, we can play the same instrument,
Right.
because I can't play any guitars.
Right.
If I ever see a guitar I like, I'm like, I can't play it.
Yeah, and it's just there's the thing with Jimi Hendrix. He switched the guitar around.
Yeah, which you can do that, but there are other things you got to switch to.
You got to switch. The nuts got to change. Everything's got to change.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
but basically, a part of this community are people who are left-handed who play guitar righty because that's how they learned, and they're there to learn lefty guitar. So I said, my entire life I felt like I hit a brick wall playing guitar. I can't get any better. And I would feel better lefty. And there are people who switch, who all of a sudden just take off like a rocket. And they're like, oh my God, this is what I've been missing the whole time.
I feel like I could work a fretboard with my right hand, but I don't think I could strum properly with my left then. I guess maybe you could train into that.
Yeah. No, you have to train into it. But my point is, people train into it because it's the orthodox way to do it, who are left-handed.
Right.
And then they switch, and all of a sudden they're like, this feels so much better. I'm so glad I switched. But it's like it takes you like 6 months to even get out of the old way and learn the new way.
Maybe I should borrow your Telecaster and see if I can do it.
No, you're right-handed. No, it wouldn't work for you. The whole point is a left-handed person would get into it because they're already left-handed, so it's better for them.
Okay.
But did you see the new report about alcohol consumption that the government put out?
No.
Yeah,
Nothing.
they put a report out it's actually from January, but it's making news now, I guess. Basically, here's the deal. I know we've been told for a long time that like a glass of red wine a day is good for you, antioxidants, stuff like that. You've heard that before, right?
Yeah,
it's like good health
long
benefits.
Disproved, I think.
It's basically been disproven. This latest report, which is a meta-analysis of all these different studies, decided that no amount of alcohol is safe.
That's right.
Even one drink has negative health effects.
Right.
There is not even a neutral amount to drink. Like if you have a few beers a day or so, it's not that bad. It's like even one drink affects your health negatively.
Yeah, they used to say they said that wine in moderation is actually good for your heart. That was around for a long time.
Yeah, it has antioxidants.
Antioxidants. The grape skins.
What is it called?
Resveratrol
is
in grape skins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Resveratrol is supposed to be good for your body. Keeps you youthful.
Yep.
And no. Apparently
it's not good. It's bad for you.
Actually, what the crazy thing about that is
wait a minute. Does that mean resveratrol is not good for you?
No, I think it is, but not from the wine, I guess. The thing is, okay, this guy, Dr. Deepak K. Das, published fake data. He was like the resveratrol guru on this stuff.
Okay.
And it turns out, I guess he was a researcher, and it turned out that he doctored like over 100 different data points in different studies for things. So his entire life's work is filled with made up stuff.
He made it up.
He I don't know if he just fudged stuff or he actually made it up, but a bunch of it's fake.
Right.
So he was this big proponent, this big I mean, there's a picture of him with grapes.
Yeah.
Right? And wine glasses.
Right.
And it turns out that he doctored a whole bunch of stuff. So, and he just died. This came out, I think this story came out, actually he didn't just die, I'm sorry. This story came out in 2012, that he had a bunch of fraudulent stuff.
Right.
And then he died like a year later, believe it or not. But anyway, so that's pretty crazy about that. So it's like, wait, so is that even true? Are there even any health benefits from that? So the report itself says, I'll read you what it says about having one drink a day. And they address resveratrol too. They say, additionally, let me make it a little bigger. It should be noted that the antioxidant and anti-carcinogenic properties of resveratrol have received attention. However, it has been estimated that for every cancer prevented by resveratrol in red wine, the ethanol contained in red wine causes 100,000 cancer cases. So for every one prevented, the other ingredients cause 100,000.
Okay, so they're saying alcohol can cause cancer?
I guess so. I guess they're saying ethanol causes cancer.
Wow.
So even though resveratrol might be beneficial, within the wine are other things that totally counteract and outweigh any benefit from a single a single chemical or ingredient. So, what they found was, let's see. They said males and females who consume 1 drink per day had increased risk of liver cirrhosis, esophageal cancer, oral cancer, and injuries, but a lower risk for stroke. In addition, females had higher risk of liver cancer and lower risk for death. So your risk of stroke goes down when you have 1 drink a day.
Yeah.
But all these other things increase.
That's terrible.
Esophageal cancer, liver cirrhosis. So people are pushing back on this, though, because I guess apparently
people don't want to stop drinking.
Yeah, people don't want to stop drinking. So this came out, actually, this was funded by the Biden White House.
Yeah.
And it came out in January.
Yeah.
And James Comer, who's a Republican representative, he's fighting against this. He's like, I demand to see, I want to see the data. He thinks that this is fraudulent in some way, which is weird because I don't think that there's any evidence that it is. I just think he probably thinks it's so ridiculous and wants to keep drinking.
Probably.
So,
well, a lot of people like to drink. I mean, men and women drink because they like the effect. That's why they drink.
Yeah, nobody's doing it for the health benefits.
Not for the health benefits. No, not at all. Now we're talking about wine, right? Wine is, they would say have a little wine with dinner. I mean, there are wine. People are really into their wines, right?
Yeah.
And the wine is actually. I always say that people don't drink because they like the taste of it, because alcohol doesn't really taste good.
Right.
Especially grain alcohol. It's an acquired taste, so to speak, and then they doctor it up with all kinds of stuff. Yeah. But like wine does taste good. There are benefits to, you can have a wonderful meal that's complemented by wine. It's got acid in it. It's got sugar in it.
Or in your food, too.
In your food and cooking, yeah.
I mean, the alcohol cooks out. You're left with the flavor. You're left
with the flavor. So a good wine does complement the meal and it does taste good.
Right.
And so that almost seems like it's got a good use for it. It's good for the meal. It's good for socializing and it's good for the meal. But the effect that it has on the brain, I work with a lot of people in recovery, and a lot of them are in 12 steps, the 12-step program. And the one thing about the 12-step program, AA, I'm talking about principally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the people in 12 steps, one of the things that they're adamant about of the 12-step, the people who wrote the big book for for AA. Yeah. Okay. That they don't want to come across as being a temperance society. They're not saying nobody should drink at all. You know? And they would get a lot of pushback if they did say that, and they'd probably be ineffective.
Right. Like a religious movement.
Yeah, because people want to drink, Yeah. But it's my contention that personally, I don't think anybody should drink any alcohol at all. I just don't think so. And it's not because they're going to get drunk, and it's not because it's going to set off a craving and all that stuff. That is true amongst alcoholics. But even non-alcoholics, I think that your life is better without any alcohol at all, because it just has too many effects that are really bad,
Well, and you don't just mean health effects.
I don't mean health effects.
If it was just based on health effects, you should also basically never eat sugar, never have a piece of cake, never have.
Well, that's true.
Chocolate.
Yeah, people.
I mean, the antioxidants in chocolate.
Yeah.
Don't outweigh the sugar content.
Antioxidants
in terms of health benefits, right?
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Although if you have, I think it's like 70%. What's the dark chocolate? It's like 70% cacao.
Yeah, something like the dark stuff.
That's got really good benefits, cognitive benefits.
I love dark chocolate.
So do I.
Isn't it? It's essentially an antidepressant.
I think so.
Right. I mean, it's like you feel different eating chocolate than you do just like a sugary candy.
It does fire off
it does something
dopamine
different.
Pathways and everything. Yeah.
No, but it does something different. I think I don't know if it's serotonin. I forget what it does, but cocoa, dark chocolate specifically, right?
Yeah.
And I like the really dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Like 80%.
Oh, it tastes good.
It tastes good.
Yeah, it's a little bit on the bitter side, but it tastes good.
Yeah, but wine is interesting because people drink wine. How many drinks does it take to get the average person drunk? About like wine, like glasses of wine. People don't really get drunk on wine.
That's subjective because it's.
Yeah, I know. The average.
You're
person.
losing your balance, and you're like before you notice it, before they notice it. I mean, that's all. But it has effect. There's people you have what they call blackout thinkers. Blackout thinkers.
Blackout. I know a few of those.
I used to be a blackout.
I see
thinker.
a few of those on YouTube actually. A few of those on Twitter.
Yeah. But no, blackout drinkers. Right.
Okay.
So I used to run into people all the time and say, "Well, I'm definitely an alcoholic." I was, "Well, how do you know?" Well, I black out when I drink. I said, well, everybody blacks out when they drink. What do you mean? Yeah, any human being who drinks enough is going to black out. Okay, and the reason they're going to black out, I've had an experience with...
No, but their point is that they're drinking so much that they black out, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't make them an alcoholic, because a non-alcoholic will also black out if you give them too much alcohol.
I know, but their point is they willingly do it.
They willingly
their point isn't that it does that. The point is that they do it intentionally, right?
I had a weird experience with a blackout. I used to black out when I drank when I was younger.
Okay.
I would not always black out, but I would drink frequently. I did drink enough to black out, and I don't remember the night, which is terrible. Okay.
I can't even imagine that. I've never done that.
Well, one time I was in Manhattan, and I had too much to drink, and I parked my car. I was driving in Manhattan, drunk at 10 o'clock at night or something. I don't know why, but I parked my car somewhere in Midtown, and I forget where I was going. I was going to meet somebody somewhere, and I got 2 blocks away, and then I felt something. I felt like, and I started to black out. You see in the movies when somebody's blacking out, you see
you mean going unconscious?
Like a tunnel. Yeah. And I felt that happening. Mm-hmm. I never noticed that before. Okay. And I said, oh my God, I'm not going to remember where I parked my car. And I said, and I looked up at the street sign. It said Madison Avenue and some cross street. I don't remember. I said, okay, if I remember where this is, because my memory's good right now, I'm going to go 2 blocks this way and 2 blocks that way, and that's where my car is. And then I blacked out. Now I don't remember blacking out, but I remember coming out of the blackout at 2 a.m. or something. I was standing in front of some deli in Manhattan somewhere, and I had blacked out during that time.
So okay. So
hours
what does that
later.
mean?
That means I blacked out.
Are you saying blackout unconscious, or blackout you were consciously doing things you don't remember? Oh,
I was conscious. Well, I got to where I was somehow. When people black out, you don't know that they're in a blackout.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out what you mean by the term right now. So you don't mean...
I'm talking about the last thing I remember was looking at that sign, trying to remember where so I could remember where my car is parked.
So how did you know that you were entering
I don't know. I just had a feeling. I just felt, I felt myself leaving. I was aware of my.
So it's almost like you felt yourself no longer. I don't know if that
going
makes
into
sense.
a black, like going into a tunnel.
Yeah, it's almost like you felt your brain turning off the piece of it that remembers things.
Right.
Something.
Exactly.
That's weird.
Exactly. Because that's what they do. Like when you get certain anesthesias, when you get surgery, you're awake and they're talking to you. And then you come out of surgery and you don't remember anything.
That's horrifying.
Yeah. And so what they found out,
that's what they say about colonoscopies. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or not.
I believe it is true because because I have that experience with alcohol. What happens is there's what the heck is it? I think it's there's a hormone. No, it's not a hormone. It might be a hormone. It's a I don't know. There's something called glutamine. I'm not sure what that is.
Okay.
But there's glutamine. And if you have a glutamine deficit, you lose all memory. You lose your ability to learn. You lose your ability. If you have low glutamine, you lose your ability to learn. You lose your ability to remember anything.
Yeah.
And that's when you don't remember. And alcohol turns off your glutamine production. So you actually go into a blackout.
Right.
So when you drink, even socially, like not even getting drunk, you're reducing this production. Your memory's not going to be as good when you're not drinking. When you're sober, your memory's not going to be as good. That time that I blacked out, this one time that I remember, when I came out of the blackout, I didn't know where I was, and I just kind of looked around, and I was like standing in front of this delicatessen, and the deli owner came out. It was this Indian guy, and he came out and he says, "Sir, are you okay?" I don't know how he knew I wasn't okay. I must have been standing there for a long time or something. And I said, no, I said, I think I had a little bit too much to drink. I said, I don't remember where my car is. Oh, no, he said, can I call you a cab? And I said, no, I have a car. I just don't remember where it's parked. So he went, okay. And then he went back inside. Then he came back outside and he said, I have a cab coming for you. And I said, I don't have any money to pay for the cab. I said, I don't have any cash on me.
Yeah.
So he said, well, don't worry about it. And this other Indian guy pulled up in a cab and he came over and he said, I'll help you find your car.
Yeah. And
I got in the cab and this another Indian fellow drove me up and down the streets of Manhattan, like in Midtown, like till 2 a.m. It took about like maybe, it seemed like an hour driving around, found my car parked. And I got in my car and drove away. And he wouldn't let me pay him or anything. I have no idea.
He must have been a friend of the owner or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Friend of Bill's or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
But they help. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of weird. And yeah, so I looked that up at the time, and I remember finding out that when you drink, it restricts your glutamine production, and that's why you don't remember anything. And any people who drink on a regular basis, I don't mean getting drunk or just have alcohol, like, a couple of times a week or something like that. You're reducing your ability to learn and to remember on a continuing basis. And that's why I wanted to show you something.
It's almost weird that you remember coming out of the blackout.
Right.
But the only reason you came out of the blackout is because in retrospect you remember that point and not before.
I remember I was going in.
You actually wouldn't have known at the time.
Right.
But you would only know later.
Right.
Because it affects something called your memory.
Right.
That you access later, you don't access in real time. So you only know looking back when you came out of it. Isn't that weird?
I just appeared in New York City.
But I'm saying but you didn't. Only in your memory.
In my memory, yeah. My memory came back then.
In real time,
right?
It was the same.
Right.
I'm just saying it's kind of weird.
My glutamine production got back to where the memories are actually turned back on again.
Yeah, but it's an aspect of the story that can only be told in memory. It can only be told after the fact. It can't be told in
during
real
the
time.
fact. It can't be told.
Yeah, that's weird.
Right.
That's weird.
So I was meeting people. Who knows? I went. Maybe I don't know. Who knows where I went and who I spoke to? I don't know.
Who knows what you did?
Who knows what I did?
I
don't know. Yeah, so that's the thing. That's why I say that. Here, I wanted to show you something. I knew you were going to bring up alcohol today.
Okay.
So I had something that had particular interest to me. Run 57.
Sure.
This is Charlie Kirk. You know Charlie Kirk?
Yeah. Of course.
Now watch this.
I like Charlie Kirk. Let's see.
You like him?
Yeah, I like Charlie Kirk.
No, you like this guy.
Oh, Gavin Newsom?
Equally insane that people are boycotting Bud Light. I mean, how is that not called out?
I don't drink, but yeah, I mean, like...
Well, you don't drink at all?
I mean, no.
By the way,
He's shocked.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
You don't? Never have?
I have, yeah. A couple years
What
ago.
happened? What, a couple years ago you stopped?
I stopped, yeah.
Why'd you stop?
I just wanted to be more successful.
I love that. What were you drinking?
Napa Valley wine.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go.
Stop.
So, equally insane.
Napa Valley one. So he's making fun of him there.
He's making fun of him. Yeah. But the point I'm making here is Charlie Kirk knows that his success is contingent, or the level of success he's looking for is contingent upon him not consuming alcohol.
Right.
He recognizes that.
Right.
He feels that he will be more successful in life if he doesn't drink.
And Gavin Newsom is the type of guy to almost not believe it when he hears it, by the way. He sounded almost incredulous about that.
Yeah.
He was like, really?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying he doesn't believe him, but
Right.
it's like it sounds like he almost can't even fathom that lifestyle, or it's like he thinks it's even ridiculous too.
He seems like a kind of guy that would want to tie one on once in a while.
Yeah, he drinks, right?
Yeah.
But Gavin Newsom's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I don't drink either. I don't drink, but I've never
I don't either.
Which
No, you never drink.
nobody believes
Nobody
that part.
believes it.
Nobody believes that
Yeah.
part. I've never had a drink of alcohol in my
I
entire
tell people, my son he couldn't tell you what alcohol tastes like, which is not entirely true because you've tasted traces of alcohol in foods and things before.
I know what like wine tastes like from food.
Right.
Right. But a hard liquor, I have no idea what that's even like.
Yeah,
no idea.
Yeah.
I could recite to you that it burns. That's
burns.
all I got from hearing other people. I
Right.
have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't drink because I just don't. I'm an alcoholic. I'm a recovered alcoholic.
Yeah.
So I don't drink at all.
Yeah.
But
But I don't abstain in like a like I'll use stevia extract or vanilla extract and like wine and food and
Right.
stuff like that. That's okay with me.
Yeah.
That all has alcohol in it.
It does.
But I don't drink. I've never had a sip of alcohol.
Right.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. Which people don't believe.
They don't believe it.
And people think it's not even, you could say it's religious. It's not religious. But if you wanted to make the argument that it is, you could, because I guess it is tied to spirituality in a way. And that I think that being conscious, being aware, being in touch with reality, I think that all has to do with spirituality. A lot of people separate the two. They think that it's different. To me, my deportment has everything to do with my
Right.
spirituality.
Right.
So it's important. So I don't want to get drunk. I don't want to be unconscious.
People misunderstand. They think that people who tend to look at the spiritual aspect of it,
Yeah.
especially like in 12 steps, which is a spiritual program. It's all about God, right?
Yes.
And they look at it and say, no, if you drink, you're blocking yourself from God.
Okay.
And I'm saying, no, if you're drinking out of a need for the drink, you're already blocked from God. You just don't want to get back to him.
You're just treating a symptom.
You're treating a symptom.
Right.
And that's why alcoholism is not a disease.
Okay.
It's not a disease. It's a symptom of a disease, which we can call a spiritual disease, which is disconnection from God. And you want to disconnect. You have guilt for having resented, for having played God, which is what resentment is. And your conscience sort of calls you back to your creator. You don't want to go there.
Yeah.
So you drink to forget. And then you drink to forget what the drink did to you, and you just keep going. I just want to mention, and then for an alcoholic, though, what happens is they drink so often, so much, that they develop something within their system, within their body, in the pancreas and the brain and the liver, where if they have any alcohol at all in their system, it kicks off a phenomenon of craving. And they crave, just like people who break their pancreas by eating too much sugar. You can, after a while, you get a very strong reaction to sugar. You crave more.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have friends who, like religious friends, who drink.
Right.
And they're skeptical of me not drinking. They think it's weird because to them, it's like anything in moderation. Right. So it's like, well, if you can eat sugar, if you can, smoke a cigar. Actually, I've never smoked a cigar either, but these things you can have in moderation. It's like I had a glass of wine with dinner. That's fine.
Yeah.
And I don't tell anybody not to drink. I don't care if people drink around me. I'll hang out with friends and they drink, and that's totally fine with me. Of course. But I just personally don't.
Right.
So,
well, some people bring up, Jesus drank. Jesus drank wine. Jesus drank. Well, first of all, did you know John the Baptist didn't drink?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
At all?
No, he did. He was sworn off grapes, wine, anything that could be fermented.
Huh. Okay.
He belonged to this. He not belonged to it. I guess it wasn't a religion or anything. But he, I don't know. There was something called not Nazarene? What's the word I'm looking for? Nazarite. There was a Nazarite code back then, set forth by Moses.
Okay.
I think there were certain things you could do if you were dedicated to God, certain things you wouldn't do.
Yeah.
And it was forbidden to drink wine, to eat grapes, even, because those could be fermenting. But also they couldn't cut their hair.
I mean, now you're going into
Samson couldn't cut his hair. He drank a lot, though.
I mean, that's the whole thing is that the Jews have a lot of laws that they follow, and they still follow it now, right? I mean, they have the payas. We're talking about Orthodox Jews now. They still cover their head, all that stuff, and then you have Christians who the whole idea is, well, we are the next phase of things where it's like, no, we aren't supposed to be interpreting things this strictly. We aren't supposed to be interpreting God's law this way.
Right.
So that's where you get a major divide in written code versus what's written in your heart. Right. Now we're talking Beatitudes, Sermon on the Mount, stuff like that.
The wine that they drank back in Jesus' day wasn't the kind of wine that you're going to get in a bottle these days. What they did was they added the wine to water. It was very highly diluted. In fact, it was seen as barbaric to actually drink straight wine. Drunkenness was forbidden back then, and they would just use the fermented wine in water to get rid of bacteria and things like that.
Yes, actually, they would dilute it about like 2 parts water to 1 part wine if it was strong, or 4 parts water to 1 part wine. So at this point, if you're doing 4 parts water or 1 part wine, you have to have like 4 glasses of wine to equal 1 modern glass of wine.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Right.
Actually, I think the strength of the wine undiluted was not as strong as modern wine anyway.
Right.
So you're dealing with an alcohol content of like 2%.
Yeah.
3%. So that's which is like a really, really weak beer. That'd be like a really crappy beer.
Right.
So even a glass of wine at dinner nowadays would be the equivalent of about 4 glasses of wine back then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're adding it, for medicinal reasons too. Like they want to make sure
reasons.
They want to make sure their water's clean.
Sure.
And of course, it's an antiseptic as well. They might use wine to disinfect things. So that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it is totally different. And the Greeks specifically thought that if you drank wine straight up, you were barbaric.
Yeah, right.
Which barbaric, actually, you brought up the word barbaric.
Right.
It comes from It actually means non-Greek. It means foreigner.
What, the word barbarian?
Yeah. It comes from the Greek word that means non-Greek or foreigner.
I see.
So it's somebody who's not like us.
Right.
Those crazy guys up there. They just drink it. They just get drunk.
Right.
So, and I mean, something like beer's been around for thousands and thousands of years, and I don't think the Greeks drank beer, and they certainly didn't in the Middle East. I think in Egypt they drank beer, but hard liquor wasn't invented till like 1,000 years later.
Right.
It's like the 1100s, 1200s, something like that. So this whole alcohol culture that we have in America and, and in the West in general, goes back about 1,000 years. And people did not get drunk before that. People did.
Of course they did.
But it was socially unacceptable to get drunk. And I mean, imagine if people talk about wine drunk and it's like, oh, we got wine drunk. It's like, which is ridiculous. You would have to drink a lot of wine to get wine drunk. But I mean, if you're talking about 4 glasses of wine is equal to 1 modern glass, you're going to have to drink a lot of that diluted wine to get drunk. You could only ever do it intentionally. You could only be intentional, right?
Right.
You could never accidentally. It's like, oh, I didn't realize I already had 4 or 5, shots in the past, in the past few hours. No. This is like, no, I drank 20 glasses of wine, something like that.
That's a lot of wine.
Ancient wine, I mean.
Yeah.
So, it is definitely not the same thing. But yeah, Jesus did drink. You can assume he drank alcohol because of that in that way.
Sure.
In that way.
Sure.
But
yeah. He didn't have that vow.
I'm not even convinced, by the way, and maybe a biblical scholar would be, or a scholar in ancient Greek could better understand this. I'm not convinced that when Paul writes about being drunk, about not to get drunk, basically drunkards. I'm not sure that he uses the word drunk the same way that we use the word drunk. Because like you said before, the different levels of being drunk. Well, how do we know that for them, because it was so intentional, you had to drink so much to even get there, that being, a little bit further than buzzed wasn't drunk. Right. Somebody that's like, you could tell he's been drinking. He's like a little bit more energetic and happy than usual. What if they meant that's drunk and that you shouldn't do that?
I think they did mean that.
Well, now when people say drunk, they're referring to somebody who's like brazenly drunk.
Oh yeah.
A modern definition of drunk.
Yeah. We're way drunker. We're way more inebriated as a society today than ever.
Right. So if you met somebody who seemingly is in total control, he's answering questions, he's alert, well, not fully alert, but you know what I mean, but who's had a lot to drink, you wouldn't say like, oh, he's drunk. He would say, no, I'm not drunk, I'm just enjoying myself.
Yeah.
But I think that maybe even the ancient definition of drunk would include that type of thing. I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, what I'm saying about, being totally abstinent has to do with not really feeling buzzed, getting high or buzzed, or even just talkative, that sort of thing. I'm talking about like lasting effects on the brain afterwards, long afterwards, like days afterwards.
Are you talking about health or?
No, I'm talking about being able to perform, being able to succeed in life, succeed in career, succeed in relationships, being able to negotiate things. You're at a disadvantage if you are a drinker. And if you're not a drinker, you have an advantage over everybody in your ability to think, your ability to reason, your ability to negotiate deals, to sell things, to negotiate a raise, dealing with employees, dealing with employers, relationships, your thinking and your memory, and just your overall cognition is going to be affected long term, long after you think you're not drunk anymore. Even when you think the effects of a hangover are long gone, your abilities are just going to be diminished. And a lot of it, I think, has to do with, and I don't even know all of the physiology involved. I just know about that one glutamate thing for memory retention, recall. If that's diminished, you're going to be diminished as a person and dealing with other people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why.
And those are logical arguments.
I think no one should drink alcohol under any circumstances for any reason.
Yeah.
Of course, that makes me crazy, and I would not impose that on anybody at all. But when I see somebody drinking, I think they have a right to do it. Not everybody has to have that goal in life.
And that's another thing. I noticed that people who drink sometimes, not all the time, sometimes react negatively. And I don't mean outright angry or anything, but react negatively to finding out I don't drink. Like I think I'm better than them or something.
They don't
like
like
that.
it.
And I don't care. Like I don't consciously think about somebody drinking or not.
Yeah,
if I go to a
care.
restaurant, I know people are drinking. I don't care at all.
Yeah.
I just personally don't. But some people don't like that. And that's kind of telling too. It's like, wait, why? I don't care that you're drinking. Why do you care that I'm not drinking? It's like kind of weird.
Yeah, I have an event that that I go to every year up in the Catskills. Up near Woodstock up there. And I have a friend up there and, has a house on the lake, and we all get together and those guys all get loaded. Yeah. And I'm the only one not. And they respect me that I don't.
Right.
But they're all, and when I say loaded, I don't mean falling down drunk, but they're like, they get really happy.
I don't like when, okay, then it goes the other direction. You have people who want to treat you special because you don't drink.
They're so used to me not drinking. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're probably used to. I'm not talking about them, but
Yeah.
but it's like, oh, like I don't know if we should do that because after all, it's like I don't have a problem. We can go to a bar. I don't care.
Well, it's funny because this event, this is all of a bunch of guys that we all got together during the college days and used to get loaded and party and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and they had this get together. They would tell me about it, but I was kind of not invited. Because I knew I didn't drink, and they were not because they didn't want me there,
right?
But they thought that I would have to stay away from it. That if I put myself, that they thought they'd do me a favor by not just assuming that I would not want to come. And finally, I had a conversation. I said, I have no problem being with you guys. You guys can drink all you want. Yeah. All right. Well, if you think you'll be okay.
So what is that? Because I've heard that some alcoholics, especially I think recently sober ones, have a problem with temptation, with being around alcohol. They don't want to go into bars. They don't want to be around booze. Is that a thing? Is that a problem? How long does that last?
Well, they're not. They haven't recovered from their need for the alcohol. Whether they might be by regular community standards, they are actually an alcoholic. By AA standards, 12-step philosophy, they may not be an alcoholic. They may just be a heavy drinker or a problem drinker, in which case they still have a need, and the temptation is always there to pursue that need. Their need is to feel better than they felt before. So the thing is, if you need to feel better than you feel now, and alcohol is going to help you, what is it about you that makes you feel so bad right now that you need something? Right. So if you get to that and you get rid of that, you have no need for alcohol. You can walk away from it. It's just just no interest.
Well, then you have people who are really just interested in treating physical effects, like a rehab. Like, well, we'll get them completely sober and go through the withdrawal process, and then hey, don't drink anymore now.
Right. Well, that's what everybody thinks. That's why they go into rehab. Oh man, I'm going to go into rehab. And they go into rehab. They're separated from alcohol for a while. Yeah. They detox them safely and all that sort of stuff. And then they give them a little counseling, and they go home, and then they drink right away. Why? Because they haven't taken away the need for whatever it is that the alcohol is giving them. So and they drink.
Well, they do have counselors and that kind of thing there, right?
Right.
So they do try and address that.
They try to, but
they
can't.
Yeah,
they can't. Now, certain types of alcoholics they can be convinced psychologically to substitute something else. So they'll tell them, they'll say, journal, or you'd be better off eating food. I remember when I first stopped drinking, this one, and I really hadn't gotten rid of the need for it at that time. I was like, I was still kind of wanted to drink, and I called up this guy who was helping me at the time. I said, I don't know. I think I'm going to drink. I said, I feel like drinking. I haven't had a drink in a while. I feel like maybe going out and having a good time. And he said, open up your refrigerator. I was on the phone with the guy. And he goes, you got anything in there? Any sweets in there? And I said, yeah, there's an Entenmann's chocolate cake. Just take it out. It was all right. Cut a piece. I cut a piece. I ate it. And I ate the cake. He said, how do you feel now? I said, I guess I don't really feel like drinking anymore. He goes, there you go. I said, what am I going to do? Eat cake for the rest of my life?
You're going to get fat.
Yeah, but I felt a diminishment.
Have a cigarette.
Well, that's why alcoholics smoke so much. Yep. Even abstaining alcoholics smoke a lot.
Of course.
Because you're just substituting one thing for the other. And that made me realize, oh, I see. It's not the alcohol. There's a need that goes before the alcohol, So.
which a lot of time goes under the radar. You don't even know you feel that way.
No, you don't know.
I've had that before because I do meditate. I do the non-contemplative meditation, of course. And what allows you to do is you realize when you feel that way.
Right.
Sometimes you don't even know. It's like, what is this negative energy? What is this? I don't feel good. And you begin to separate from it. And just by seeing it, you can separate from it.
Right.
But it's there. And it's like, I didn't even realize it was there. I was completely unconscious to it.
Yeah. It's usually a suppressed resentment of some kind. It's anger inside, that gets inside. And if that's what it is, it's when I tell people that, listen, if you conquer your resentments, I don't resent anything. I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. I love everybody. I said, well, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know. I'm talking about the stuff that you don't think about. I'm talking about the things. There are a lot of unrecognized resentments that you have. That's why
it's amazing. It's like it's inside you or something, and you're not even conscious.
You're not conscious.
You're not even conscious.
No,
it's like, wait, I'm still angry, even though I'm not even thinking of the thing that made me angry in the first place.
No, you don't even know.
That's so weird.
No,
it's so weird.
No, that's because it's a force. It's a negative. It's a metaphysical force.
Wow.
Resentment. It gets inside of you, and then you want to suppress it because it makes you feel so bad that you need something. So it's food or sex or drink or drugs, that sort of thing. Alcohol becomes a favorite. Unfortunately, you also develop a tolerance and a dependency upon it, and then you break yourself. Your body basically, you do it so often, so much, that your body just breaks. And if any alcohol at all enters your system, it kicks off that phenomenon of craving. Yeah.
I remember...
That's for that type of alcoholic. Now, there are people that don't have that. Once they have it, there are people who have suppressed resentments. They don't know it. And they just feel a little off. And I'm just having a bad day. I think I'll have a drink. And I have a drink and they feel better. And that's it.
Yeah.
I feel better. I go home. But there are other people that have a drink and they feel better. But something kicks in and go, I think I'll have more. I want more. I want more. And they can't stop. Cannot stop.
I remember a few months ago, and I made note of it because it was such an interesting event. I was coding the C app.
Yeah, right.
And because I'm the guy who codes.
You're the head technician here.
The head app developer.
Yeah.
And so I'm coding it, and I got a bug notification, which means that it didn't just happen on my end. Like somebody experienced a bug, got caught up a glitch, and I get ding. Oh, there was a bug. Okay, great. And I checked it out, and I couldn't understand what I was looking at, what this error message meant. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to figure this out. Oh, and I put it aside, and I started doing something else. I forget if I might have started a game of chess even or something like that, or it just went on my phone. And about 3 minutes later, I'm sitting there and I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling anxiety.
Yeah.
I'm like, not exactly annoyed, but like something like that. Like, oh man. I'm like, why do I feel this way right now?
Right.
And I remember even thinking to myself, I'm like, why do I feel anxious?
Yeah.
What is this anxiety? And then I remembered, oh, wait a second. That error report, that made me feel anxious.
Right.
And I had totally forgotten about it. It was completely out of my mind. And I was carrying around this feeling, this emotion, this negative energy that was completely separated at this point from the actual memory because it wasn't there right now. I wasn't even thinking of it. I was like, oh my God, that's there anyway. That put me in a state that then stayed with me.
Yeah.
Even though the event left.
Right.
It was amazing.
It's guilt. It's guilt is what it is. Because you were caught up in a moment at some time where you were lost in your thoughts. And then that resentment took hold of you. When you're conscious, you can't be resentful. Because when you're conscious, you'll see whatever it is that normally would bother you. You see it and you step back from it, and that energy doesn't get inside of you. So, and then it just dissipates. It goes away, and then you just go on with your life. But if you just tuck it away somewhere or just try to forget about it, you still have that guilt that for being, believe it or not, that's being judgmental. You're judging whatever it is. You're judging the app. You're judging the person that had the bug. You're judging your ability to program without, a bug-free routine or something like that. And you resent that and you tuck it away. It doesn't seem like anything serious. Well, you have a series of those things going on. Before you know it, you start feeling guilty because we're not supposed to be that way. And your conscience begins to bother you. So instead of stepping back and looking at it and feeling remorse for having judged or played God in that case, you tuck it away, but that pain needs some relief. So you probably could have, if you hadn't seen that, you saw it and went away, I'm guessing.
Yeah, sure.
But
that was the process of seeing.
That was the process of seeing. that's because you meditate and you're able to step back. You're not so far into your thinking that you can't step back and see what's happening.
Yeah.
But there are people that never get that. They're too deep in their thoughts, so they will go run for food. They'll run for the pornography, or they'll run for the alcohol or the drug. You know, smoke a little joint, whatever.
Never done that either.
No, you've never done that either. Yeah.
I said this before. People are going to think I'm like a Mormon or something.
They're going to think that I raised you as a child for hitting you over the head with a Bible or something.
I was exposed to. I went to college. I saw all this stuff. I had the opportunity.
Yeah.
I wasn't like running away from it.
No.
I was around people doing it. I just didn't want it. Just didn't want to. Yeah, so I was going to share that about alcohol. So this new report basically says all alcohol, anytime in any amount, is bad.
It is. I agree.
And it's probably true.
They're saying physiologically bad, right? It's bad for your body.
Yes.
Body, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Bad for your body.
It's bad for your lifestyle, is what I'm saying too. But
I understand that. And James Comer, who is a Republican representative, is being like, this is all politics. This is Biden fraudulent stuff. This can't be true.
He probably enjoys a little wine with his dinner.
He's subpoenaing. I want the records of all this stuff. I want to know how this report works.
Yeah.
He thinks they doctored things and they ignored other studies that prove otherwise.
Say they, who is they that come up with this report?
It was a federal commission,
right?
That was, I think, commissioned by probably one of the agencies or something like that.
This is during the Biden.
Yeah, it's one of those. There's so many of these damn things. It's like there's so many commissions. I don't even know what this one was called.
Right.
Actually, I'm sure it has some really goofy name. Yeah, here it is. The name of the commission is all right, I'm going to say it slowly. The Interagency Coordinating Committee on the Prevention of Underage Drinking. So that's the name of the committee.
Right.
It could have a better name. Not great for marketing.
Yeah.
But basically, it was just a committee that the government puts together and hires some doctors and pays them and says, make a report. How much should people drink? And the doctors said 0. They said nothing.
I think it would be great if people would see that. Doesn't mean everybody's going to follow it. It doesn't even necessarily mean that they should.
So what's going to happen is dietary guidelines are going to come out from the Trump administration later this year.
Yeah.
And people are waiting to see if this report is going to affect the recommendations.
Right.
Because it's possible that the dietary guidelines will say no alcohol.
No alcohol.
And there's also a possibility that they just won't even address the fact. So
that's probably the bigger possibility.
That's probably more likely.
Or address it in a way that really is not substantial.
Yeah, in a way that's not substantial. But we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Speaking of alcohol and carbs, there's a lot of carbs involved with drinking.
Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah, it makes you fat. Right?
It does make you fat.
Beer belly. Yep.
It sure does. Well, also, wine. I mean, there's a lot of carbs in wine.
Of course, all alcohol.
Sugar and all that stuff. Okay. You like pasta.
I love pasta.
How long do you cook dried pasta? Let's say dried pasta out of a box.
Something like angel hair could be like 5-6 minutes.
Okay, you boil it for 5. Let's say angel hair pasta.
Okay.
You cook for 5 to 6 minutes.
I'd rather say spaghetti and make it 8 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, 8 minutes.
Okay.
Is it 8 minutes from the time you put it into the water, or from the time that because when you put the pasta in the water, it stops boiling?
It's 8 minutes as soon as you put it in the water.
Aha. I'm not sure about that. Or is it 8 minutes after it starts boiling again?
The first one.
You sure?
That's how long I would do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's 8 minutes after it restarts boiling.
Well, Alton Brown cooks his. Doesn't he have a method where he puts it in cold
pan,
water?
Yeah, that's right. In cold water.
And then he waits for it to boil.
I tried that. It works.
Why do it that way, though?
I don't see any point to it.
It's just different.
Because Alton Brown is a crazy man.
He's got some really good stuff, though. Good Eats was a great show.
That was a good show.
Really good show.
I like that show. As a matter of fact, when I made Thanksgiving turkey, 1 year anyway, I went back to one of his shows to see how long he cooks it and how he makes this whole thing with a tinfoil.
Oh yeah, I know that
tinfoil
episode.
hat.
I know the whole episode.
You know that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I made the turkey that way.
Low and slow is the only way to go.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's him imitating like a granny who insists you cook it that way.
Right.
And
well, they had some guy.
He doesn't think so.
Yeah, but they had some guy in drag imitating his aunt.
Yeah. Grandma, right?
His grandma,
or whatever.
Yeah,
something.
Whatever. Yeah, and actually, okay, so I don't know if you know this, but you know that Thanksgiving I brine a turkey.
Of course I know that.
Right. Well, that whole brining method and everything, I got actually from that. This is a video that's probably almost 20 years old or something.
Yeah.
That's where I got it from. I got it from that.
Right.
Yeah. And it makes delicious turkey.
It does.
Yeah.
Makes really good turkey.
Yeah.
In fact, turkey, it's one of those things where then there are a lot of foods like this. If you've never had a fresh turkey brined for Thanksgiving or for any meal, you probably don't think turkey is that good. It's okay, but it's not your favorite meat.
Yeah.
But if you have turkey brined, prepared well, with a gravy done right, it's like this is as good as steak.
A fresh turkey.
It's like, it's like this is as good as steak. It's as good as other meats. Okay, listen, it is. It totally is. It's one of the best things. It's one of the best meats you could have.
It's different.
Is a fresh bird brined and then cooked right in the oven.
It's very tasty. It's juicy.
Amazing. It's amazing.
It's juicy and it's delicious.
So if you rank turkey like third on your list of proteins or like meals, it jumps to top tier if you have it done right. It just jumps up.
It's not going to go. It's not going to go above a good ribeye.
No, it's not going to go above like, filet mignon or something like that. But it's going to be comparable. It's going to be up there, 100%.
Yeah. Well, same thing for fish. Different fish.
Fish?
If it's prepared right. Striped bass. I love striped bass.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see a giant turtle landed on Martha's Vineyard?
Was it flying?
No.
What do you mean it landed?
Landed on the beach.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Landed. It from the water.
Oh, okay.
Not from the air. Turtle with wings. That's kind of cool.
There was a, oh man, I don't know the name of it. There was like this invasion movie from like the 60s, I think, with this giant turtle from outer space invaded America, and just there was like this giant flying turtle.
Did it have wings?
No, it didn't have wings. It had like lights spinning under it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
like
weird.
The idea of a turtle with giant wings that you could just like go 100 miles an hour in the air. Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Well, anyway. So here's the turtle. Endangered female leatherback, which weighed around 700 pounds, was discovered deceased east of Red Beach in, I don't know how to say that, the Wampanoag tribe of Gayhead. Natural research, okay, was alerted to the turtle. All right.
Look at that thing. Those are ugly turtles, if I remember. Yeah, they're weird looking. Wow, look at that thing.
Huge.
That thing looks like, wow.
It's one of these things where you really can't distinguish, oh crap. You really can't distinguish the shell from the turtle. Like it looks like one big piece.
Right.
Let me see. Is it going to let me see?
Looks like a cyber turtle.
Isn't that crazy?
Looks like Tesla built it.
Look at that thing.
That
ugly, thing's nuts, right?
That's crazy.
So it's 700 pounds. So there's this 700-pound beast that just like zooms through the ocean.
Wow.
Isn't that weird? And
if you were going to build a submarine drone, you would design it like that.
A submarine drone?
Yeah.
Unlike the Titan.
I don't know. It looks very stealthy.
Yeah. And then, so compared to a person, I wanted to get. So here's it compared. Ooh, that's a dead one, I guess. But anyway, that's how big it is.
What was that thing with Squirtle? Remember Squirtle? What is that from?
The Pokemon?
Yeah, it looks like a Pokemon turtle.
It kind of does, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like Squirtle, but yeah. So that's how big it is compared to a person.
That's crazy.
So that's insane, right?
That's gigantic. It's the size of
literally
a Volkswagen.
Oh, here's another good one.
That's gigantic.
Wow. I mean, those are people.
So it's dead?
That one looks alive. This one looks alive. But yeah, it's gigantic. So I was thinking, well, if that's the size of a leatherback turtle, I honestly had no idea turtles even came that big. Let's see, comparison.
Oh, yeah. Sea turtles are huge.
Well, I know like a Galapagos sea turtle. Yeah, sure. Right. But I didn't know a leatherback actually got that big. So I looked into the biggest turtle ever.
Yeah.
And it's something called I think it's called the Archelon or Archelon turtle, something like that. And so this is a giant turtle, and it was this big.
Oh my God, that's gigantic.
You see how big that is?
Oh my God.
So, and they have a skeleton of one. So this is.
These are not prehistoric?
Well, I guess that is a flying turtle.
There you go.
They put it in the air for some reason. No, it is prehistoric. It does not exist anymore. Yeah. I meant the biggest one to ever have existed.
Man, I don't go in the water because of great whites. This is another reason not to go in the water around here.
Well, of course, somebody depicted one attacking a person, which I don't think is
that's crazy.
Probably not accurate.
The thing with a turtle that size is I'm picturing myself in my little 17-foot fishing boat going along, zooming along, and hitting one of these things.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be disastrous.
Yeah, right.
God.
Archeline. So that's the size there, I guess.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. So I think that's it for today.
I think that's it.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
Toodaloo.
All right, bye.
Bye.